so much. I love you so much. I love you so much. I love you so much.
Hello, all you positive heads out there. Thanks for tuning your beautiful brainwaves into another episode of the Positive Head Podcast, where we are firmly convinced that creating success and happiness is rooted in understanding the ultimate nature of reality and the fact that as human beings, we are all immensely powerful fractals of the one and only source consciousness which creates and animates all things. After years of exploring this awe-inspiring truth on this podcast, I'm super excited to announce that we are now going even deeper down the rabbit hole on the new late-night style consciousness-elevating talk show called Optimistic, which features none other than you, the listeners. Optimistic is taped out of the epic spaceship-esque 8-bedroom property we call the Mystic Manor that myself and the rest of the Optimistic crew now navigate reality from in Venice Beach, California. And you are invited to come experience a Mystic Manor immersion week with us. During your week-long stay, you'll enjoy unique workshops, chef-prepared meals, one-on-one time coaching and consulting with me, and even co-creating magic with me as a guest on both Optimistic and an episode of the Positive Head podcast. When I started this, my aim with these immersive retreats was to facilitate the ultimate spiritual upgrade and tune-up, so to speak, for our guests while providing them with one of the most memorable experiences of their lives. And I'm happy to say that as of this recording, every guest at the end of their trip so far has told me that they have had a profound and transformational experience at the Mystic Manor and that they definitely want to come back. All that being said, we only have a limited number of spots available between now and next July. And as of this recording, about half of those spots are already filled. So if there's any part of you that is screaming, yes, I want to come, I feel like I need to be there, go now and book a slot with me to discuss how we can put our heads together and make it happen at calendly.com/talkwithbrandon. I know for some people, there is also that little voice in their head saying, why not? I can't get off work. I can't afford it, and on and on and on. But, really, Henry Ford, I think, said it best. Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. And I'm confident that where there's a will, there's a way. And I'm personally committed to doing everything in my power, including discounts and payment plans, to get you here if it is something that truly feels like a huge yes for you energetically and like you're meant to be here. Once again, the link to book time to discuss with me is calendly.com/talkwithbrandon. That's spelled calendly.com/talkwithbrandon. All one word, of course. And book in some time and look forward to seeing you soon here at the Mystic Manor. All right, all you positive heads, welcome. Here we grow again. It is a fantabulous Friday here in the studio, and you guessed it right. I'm not alone. I have an incredible crew with me, Lane, Laurie, Shae, who have been the brave Mystic Manor guests, souls sharing, co-creating this week. Hello, everyone. How are you?
Hey. Hi.
Oh, this has been so fun. It's like, I think the 7th week of guests here at the Mystic Manor, and there's been a lot of energy flying this week for sure. Lane, you just pulled me aside and processing some powerful stuff that happened to you just, what was it, last night?
Yeah, well, the session I had was on Wednesday morning. And I guess part of how I would kind of process things, it just took me some time before it really started to hit me. So basically around 1 a.m. this morning is when I started to truly process all of it. This morning has been a journey of that for me. Yeah. Do you want me to just go
You know what?
that?
You can. Okay. If you want to share first, we can just go into the deep end of the pool. Or, if you'd rather Shae or Laurie to kind of tell a little bit. The point with these, if you haven't ever heard one of these episodes before, my aim is to kind of, we're all of you arrived on Monday. It's Friday as we record. We're going to spend a full day together today, and then tomorrow we do the live taping of Optimistic, and Sunday is the day everyone leaves. So we're like, I guess, 2/3 of the way through at this point. So the aim of these episodes is to really give everyone out there listening a glimpse into what's going on here at the Mystic Manor and what your experience has been like, and to also give each of you a voice to share anything that is bubbling up for you, that you have an audience. You get to all the other P-heads to 20,000 plus people are going to ultimately hear this, maybe even more than that, because it lives forever. 1,000 years from now, someone may be listening to this right now, right?
Archaeologists get up out of the catacombs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's like, well, what do you want to share about your experience, and or both? What do you feel like sharing in general? So, Lane, you're more than welcome to go first, or if someone else wants to, there's no rules.
I'll go for it. Okay, so I guess I want to share a little bit about my background, if that's okay, if I have the...
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so I was raised very Christian conservative, and in about 20 miles north of Atlanta, Georgia. So kind of a suburban area, but I was kind of sheltered into what I knew, which was like a conservative Christian lifestyle. And I now identify as a transgender man, but I wasn't raised as a man. I was raised, in a female body, and I'm kind of grateful today that I didn't know that I was trans until I was older, just because of the way I was raised. I didn't learn the word transgender until I went to college. So... Oh, wow.
That's pretty getting up there, right?
Yeah. So, once I learned it as a concept, it was like, oh, this is what I've been feeling my entire life. But before I had the words for it, it was just like, I guess I'm just going to try to be the best girl that I can be, because that's what I am. And that's all I knew. Yeah. And I have this memory of telling my dad when I was about 4, I was like, I want to be a boy. And he was like, he just kind of like paused, and he was like, well, tough luck.
Yeah.
And for me at 4, that was good enough. It's like, yeah, I guess so. Mm-hmm. Tough luck, whatever. Mm-hmm. I'll just try to do this well, I guess.
Yeah.
Then I eventually learned the words to describe how I do feel inside, and took steps to kind of make my body match that. So I take hormones, and they've changed my voice, and like I have more body hair and things like that, just for any listeners who are maybe less familiar with that whole process. Mm-hmm. And I did recently get top surgery, which is a chest reconstruction surgery. If anyone wants more information about that, you can Google search it. So I'm not going to go any more detail about that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this really prepped me for a lot in life, and a lot of what I learned in my past life regression, which happened Wednesday morning, or which today is Friday for us, so 2 days ago. The therapist's name, or QHHT therapist, is the last word of that therapist, or is it, I don't know.
Quantum healing hypnotherapy.
Yeah, okay.
Technique. Oh, technique. Oh, okay. Right.
I think so.
Yeah, you might be right.
Yeah, something like that.
Look it up.
I've been calling her a past life regression therapist, which is part of what she does, but not the whole of it.
Sure.
Mary Beth.
Yes, Mary Beth.
Magical Mary Beth.
She's amazing.
And she helped me through an experience where I wanted to know. We had set intents for my session. It was healing and discovery, and I knew that there was something to be discovered in a past life of mine that needed healing. I had felt that through a relationship I had in my life that actually is what brought me to the Positive Heads podcast. So I had this very difficult relationship with like a platonic friend of mine, and basically they were the closest mirror to myself I had ever experienced, which I now understand as like a soulmate connection. And we got so close so fast, and then it was just explosive, because it was, you can't really do that very effectively in my experiences. Like sometimes it works, I guess, but has not for me. I'm getting sidetracked. So
No, you're doing great, actually. So you had your past life regression or your QHHT session, a past life experience
with this same person.
With this the same person that was the same person that led you to the podcast.
Yes.
Now it's come up for you as, more information as into the challenging energy that surrounded your friendship.
Yeah. So I'll speak a little bit to that too, just give a fuller story. So I saw myself in a past life. I was about 20. I was at a train station in Chicago, and I was sitting down. I had a newspaper, and the feeling that accompanied this for me in my session was just immense grief and also anger, and not clarity. Like I was just so confused of why. I was sitting in this train station. I was waiting for what I now know. I was waiting for my twin brother, who ultimately left. He left me because I had been domineering in our twin relationship. It's like the stronger or like more
aggressive and dominant.
Yes, aggressive, willful person, and I pushed them away. I pushed him away from me, and he ran away, and I never knew why. I never heard why. And then I jumped forward in that life to my death, and I died alone with someone else in the room who I'm not completely sure who that was at the time, but something like a manager to me was there at my death, and I had not heard from my twin. And
your whole adult life, essentially. Yeah,
it was from the time I was like 20 to like about 60. I just didn't know if my twin was alive.
Wow.
So that's what I learned from that session, and I knew that it was the same person in my life. And Mary Beth actually asked me, she asked my higher self, are these two twin flames? And my higher self said no, but they're close. So like I imagine this like a big, I don't know, like a common like a family tree. I think like each pair is kind of like what we think of as twin flames, and if that just keeps going up, eventually there are two left.
Right.
So somewhere just below that.
Almost like a Christmas tree shape, right?
Yeah.
So it gets narrower and narrower near the top.
Yeah. So I totally envision it like that. It's like somewhere close to that. It's a very close soul connection. And Mary Beth said was like, she's just like, I feel like my body is on fire. Like when you said you two were twins.
Wow.
Yeah. So she felt compelled to ask that, and I didn't really start to process this until like this morning, like I had said, and it feels similar to having a Band-Aid ripped off of my energetic body, it just the onion peels off, but it's kind of dramatic, or like a big layer peeled off. It's painful, surprisingly painful, but like needed to happen, and I'm really grateful that it did happen. I feel very safe in this space, and it happened in my room here, and the room that I'm staying in is actually called the Gemini Love Room.
Right. There's twin beds in it, so it's the Gemini room.
Yeah, so it's twins, this twin experience in the twin room, and also the hypnotherapy session happens in your room, and so it happened in one of the beds, and last night I was trying to sleep in this bed, and I couldn't, and I went to the other one because it was like latent energy, just like I couldn't sleep in that energy. I had to go, and so it was really good for me also that it was like that.
Right.
I had this other bed available to me
set up just for you.
Yeah, it really was. It was really perfect and really cleared a lot of things up for me in my life, and I'm so grateful to be here and to have had that experience.
One of the things that you and I talked about before this recording, you were sort of recapping this for me as well, and some of the challenges surrounded sharing some of this stuff, and how Mary Beth, one of the things that came up was this idea of your soul's purpose and path as like the wounded healer. And what came up for me instantly when you're saying that, as someone who has chosen a soul that has chosen the life path that you have, and how challenging, how much bravery that it takes to go down that path, and to say, okay, I'm going to process this. Let's face it, everyone has different challenges, but just being born is like, oh, I'm born as a man, and I'm all I want to do is play football. Like, oh, that's like, okay, it's easy enough, whatever. It's a very masculine, to choose the path it's that you've chosen is like so admirable, and your heart is so, you've got like the most beautiful, sweetest, loving energy, and I just applaud you for your vulnerability. Really, really special and magical, and so I just like it says in the Gemini room, right above the bed the two beds where you're at swapping. You are something magical, and that's truly what I see and perceive and feel from you. And I just look forward to watching your continual unfoldment, and as you step more and more into your power and help others who are going and treading the same or similar path, to inspire them, because I see you inspiring a lot of people.
Thank you so much, and that's like really meaningful coming from you. With your you inspire a lot of people. And
well, as you know, I'm just a reflection of you.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. All right.
That was beautiful.
It really was, yeah. So, Miss Shae, what do you think? What are you feeling? How has your journey been?
It's been epic and intense, and I came with an intention of kind of releasing certain attachments in my life that I felt were holding me back. And one of the central issues has been around external control, and the idea that I have to make that go away or get something to change that's outside of me. Mm-hmm. Pardon me. And in my mind, I knew that wasn't true, and I knew what the answer really was that it was me and my choices. I wanted more clarity around that to like really, I felt like I was still missing something between that knowledge and what it was I really had to do. And that was part of what I wanted to kind of flesh out. And in being here, I wanted to come away with that missing piece of clarity. Mm-hmm. And I totally did get it. Mm. And the answer wasn't any different. It completely is just my choice. It's just my body was able to accept that at a level that I needed to be here with just the different energies that we were all experiencing and the releases of things, like releasing different sadnesses and wounds, and in a space where others are present to witness that and hold that space with you was something that my soul just needed in order to release those things, those final pieces, so that I can be free to just make that choice, and the problem just no longer exists. I mean, it just literally, nothing's changed. The world is exactly the same as I left it. But it's fine that it's that way, because all I ever had to do was come into my inner peace in a full enough way. And I feel like I really have done that here. And both of you have been, I'm going to get all choked up here, but you have both been a major aspect of making that happen, and I'm very grateful. And of course to you, Brandon.
Thank you for sharing that. The thing that I've loved witnessing is how the groups that come together, quote unquote, randomly, and just seeing how the dynamic in the, it's like you land here with the people that you're meant to land here with. And I think a lot of what we've set the intention to do, and as it continues to grow, the energetic imprint of this place and all the healing that's happened already, and now you guys are contributing to that and tapping into that as you in that room, all this processing has happened, and you're connected to the ones who have been in it before you, and we've really created this vortex of magic and set the intention that this is a place to transform. And it's just such an honor to steward it and to witness it. And all of you guys just are so inspirational to me, because this is not for the faint of heart. And yes, it's a lot of fun, and yes, it's an adventure, and yes, things can come up that are like you said, as you explained, you felt like a Band-Aid had been ripped off. Here's this onion, this layer of an onion, this wound that you're carrying with this other person. And, I'm curious to see if and how it has any effect on your knowing them in this life. as well. And, obviously there's no need or expectation of what it should or shouldn't be, but I imagine you having a deeper understanding about the history there, probably, and this is going back to you, Lane, it probably helps to maybe give some more context to their behavior in this life, right?
Yeah.
And when like, oh wow, I was this overbearing brother, and may that energy still resonating, right? And it's and so maybe it helps to bring more compassion to behavior, and I've heard that said a bunch of times before. It's like when you see things happening with someone in your life that even is inexplicable, the way they're reacting. I think Oneness talked about this when I read from Oneness. When you see them behaving, or a moment where all of a sudden they're just completely unreasonable and it makes no sense, the logic of it is like, why are you responding in this way or proactively acting in this way? Now you start taking into consideration these other lifetimes and multidimensional experiences with these beings that are rippling into, and they're still, that energy still here and being processed. Now it's like, oh, the blinders are so expanded. It's like now we can bring a greater sense of compassion and understanding and saying, okay,
Definitely.
I can't fully connect the dots in this life why they're behaving this way, but maybe there's something more. And getting a glimpse like you've just had, like what a powerful gift. Like, oh, now if they're treating me like I'm an overbearing jerk and I'm not even being an overbearing jerk, maybe that's just residual energy that they're still processing from a previous experience together. And just look at, isn't it fascinating that life is actually, you feel like this wound is being processed now, and like how it's still here, right?
Yeah.
It's here and now, and it's really incredible when you think about it and feel into it and understand what the
really
implications
is.
of that.
Definitely. I died angry in that life, that last one.
Yeah.
It's like that's what I was peeling back today, is that same energy.
Wow. And what's underneath that is like the most loving, heartfelt being. Like your energy, like even thinking of you angry, it's like kind of brings a smile to my face because you're like got the sweetest energy ever. It's like, but that's. It's processing and releasing that is probably part of the path to getting to landing where you can actually hold such space.
You do have a majorly kind energy.
Majorly.
It feels good to be in your presence.
Thank you. A lot of people in this house have said that to me. Like just even people that aren't staying here, they're just like, you have such a kind presence.
You really
What's
do.
interesting? It tripped me out right away because my son, Bradley Lane Beecham, you look like him to me, and the kind energy is something like I remember when he was like in 5th grade, he won the kind student award, and he came home, look what I got today in the assembly, I was voted the kind student and got this t-shirt, and I'm like, he's so kind and heart-centered and loving, and your energy, not only do you physically resemble to me, but your energy, and so it's like I know that we're deeply connected. And my mom was a twin, and I know everyone that comes through these doors, we all have these karmic ties, and it's just like it's all soul family and soul contracts playing out here, and
We started experiencing synchronicity before we even got here.
Yeah.
We have to tell the story.
Yeah.
Which one? The
lift.
The lift.
Oh yeah, this is good. Share that.
The mystic lift.
Mystic lift. Yeah, we all ended up landing near the same time, and I had kind of a random thought. Oh well, maybe I could text them and try and kind of arrange something where we could share rides. And I thought, LAX, it's going to be crazy.
It's a massive
There's just
airport.
no way we're going to pull that off. So I just, I'll just Uber or Lyft or whatever, and it's good. So I actually walked to a whole different other terminal to even get a signal on my phone. So it wasn't even where I landed. I had to go to
Wow.
this totally other area.
I hadn't heard that part.
Yeah. I walked like nearly half a mile pulling my roll behind thing.
Wow.
So to get the signal, and I'm there, and Uber wouldn't work. So I'm like, okay, well, it's got to be Lyft then. So I open up Lyft, and right away, it was like, in 5 minutes, your driver will be here. And then one other person requested right about that same time.
The ride share.
And we drove up like just maybe a quarter mile to the other end, and he gets into the lift. I look over, and we had shared selfies with our
Each other.
text group before, and I look, and I was like, oh my god, that's Lane. Lane, oh my god. And I'm like, you're Lane. Elaine, right?
And I looked over and I was like, oh my God, you're Shae. Like, it's like really crazy.
It was epic.
Yeah.
It was a great beginning.
Yeah.
And you came from other areas of the country. LAX is just this insane behemoth of an airport with so many cars and lifts and Ubers and cabs. And yeah, what are the chances?
And my middle name is Christine Elaine. And from that, my pen name is C.E. Lane, so we have the Lane connection.
Oh, wow.
Her middle name is Christine, so we've got
Wow.
Christine, Elaine, we've got all this.
Wow.
Also, my first name is Sydney, which...
Right.
Yeah.
Which is, Sydney is the sort of the house mom retreat facilitator, my right-hand woman here at the house, for now at least. And there's going to be some changes with one of the things that we're going to do is continually bring in like new energies and try new things. And so she'll be, won't be here all the time like she has been up to this point. But yeah, so Sydney and me, same thing. There's been a lot of karmic stuff for us to iron out, and it's been such a beautiful process. And we've actually talked about it on the show a month or so ago. And her parents, my mom and dad are Roger and Susan. Hers are Roger and Sue Ellen. Like we both feel like our parents have the same name. Like pretty interesting. It's really just all these threads of connectivity, and the more you are aware and see it, the more it's like wow, and it just seems to deepen and get more profound. It's really incredible.
We were in the second session with Kim Boda, and she mentioned synesthesia, and we were all nodding, and like it turns out we're all
all three of us have synesthesia.
It's an uncommon thing.
Oh,
So,
yeah,
of course,
totally.
all three of us, of course.
Yes.
do.
Right.
Are you familiar with synesthesia?
Bradley Lane's first girlfriend had synesthesia, and that's the first person I've experienced who has that. Wow. Yeah. So now I'm sitting with three others. Wow.
Yeah.
So synesthesia. Do you want to explain what it is, Laurie, for anyone who maybe doesn't know?
Well, I think it's a blending of senses. So
Yep.
you can feel color, or you can. For me, I taste words. I taste a resonance with the word.
Wow.
If it's the right word or not. So there's no flavor to it, but there's that tastes right when I get the right word to describe something.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm not sure exactly.
I have similar things with a lot of like taste is the best word to offer for it, but it's not like tasting food. It's like a different dimension of taste. It's kind of more of a texture kind of thing. And I also get color and number things like you do.
Yeah, I have it with colors and number. Yeah, so every letter and number has a color, and the color remains the same. But I never physically see it. It's kind of like a feeling of color.
Wow.
It's like, but I remember like number sequences really easily because of it. Like phone numbers. I have a lot of phone numbers memorized.
Wow. Yeah, I was always really good at memorizing phone numbers. I can't say I've ever seen, color with audio vocalization. I know with Bradley's first girlfriend, she had said that him and I both, there was a certain green when we spoke that she hadn't ever really seen before, which I thought was an interesting, like, that's, with her.
She saw green when you spoke.
Yeah. She said that, and him and I both have it, and it's pretty much the same. And she said she hadn't really seen that particular hue or whatever, at least at that point in her life. They were like
Must be a
14
lot
or
of
15.
heart speech.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, yeah, maybe. Yeah. Well, we're both in Destiny cards. I'm a King of Hearts, and he's a Six of Hearts, and pretty cool little story with that. I had the 2 days ago. So we've released the Optimistic trailer to the world yesterday, 2 days ago. Yeah. If you guys go to optimistic.tv, you can see it. I couldn't be more pleased with how it turned out. And so I'm like, okay, it's released to the world. Next step is finding shopping to the networks and looking for some sponsors and, potentially investors and, how do we get more resources to distribute it and all those things. And so I'm literally an hour after launching it, and this woman, Athena, walks in, and it looks like we're going to be working closely together, and she's just absolutely magical. I don't know if any of you have had a chance to drop in with her a little bit, I know. Wow. And it definitely feels like, oh, wow, what a soul contract, old friend. And then we look up, oh, she's a Six of Hearts, the same as Bradley, only 3 birthdays, out of all the days in the year have that. So, and then, my connection with that particular card, Six of Hearts and King of Hearts, are like, oh, this is like when we looked it up, it's like, this is like a destined pairing, kind of thing. So
My son is 727.
Oh, really?
And I was born at 727.
Oh, wow.
So, a day off of you.
So, he's so the person who's going to be coming in next behind Sydney, Sam, is 727.
Wow.
So, yeah, she's the day before my birthday, too. So.
Do you know how many King of Hearts cards there are?
And there's more. There's like 6 birthdays, I want to say, 5 or 6 or something like that.
My girlfriend is one of those.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I'm the King of Clubs, so...
Oh, okay. I knew I felt like such a strong resonance with you. You are my best match. King of Hearts and King of Clubs. It's my highest.
Cool.
It's my highest compatibility.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I was reading about it in one of your books downstairs last night. There's those...
Yep. No wonder I'm like, this person is amazing and special. Like, that's my number one match out of all 52 as a King of Clubs.
Awesome.
Yeah.
One
Yeah.
of the
I love
best
that.
things about being here with so many people who are able to see, feel, and hear other people at a more genuine level. The world can use a lot more of that. And of course, we can go out there and offer that, but it's nice to receive it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it really is.
Right.
It really is.
Right. Wow. I just feel chills. Like it's
all
like,
of it.
yeah. I mean, the fact that you're a King of Clubs, it's like I literally look at Lane and I'm just like, it's like family. It's like Bradley and some. I can just. It's like, and that's the same experience me and Athena are having right now. Like, oh, there you are. Like, oh, like we're. It's just. Wow, guys. I mean, when your heart gets blasted open and you say yes to magic and yes to calling in more soul family and support, and we are truly each other's medicine, and it's just there waiting. So many people are sitting on the sidelines, like, and we're at a time where if you're willing to say yes and step into more magic, literally just having a conversation with someone downstairs who was here for a workshop last night and ended up staying the night over, and she's telling me about her experience, like levitating someone like a foot off the ground, like, and I'm like, she's not lying. Like, the story is so intense and powerful. And then she tells me about one of my good friend who's like one of the most legit humans I know. And she goes, "Oh, he was there. Go ask him. He'll tell you." Like, I'm like, what? And so it's just like there's so much magic waiting to be revealed, and the veil is so thin now, and it's so ready and ripe. And any of you out there listening, it's like you are tuning into this broadcast. All this energy that you're feeling and this magic is a part of you too, and it's like it's inviting you. It's like calling us all in.
Come
Like,
live in the wizarding world with us.
Exactly. I know a lot of people out there are planning to come to the Mystic Manor, and I'm sure some of you are considering it. And I hope you do come. And I know exactly those that are meant, those that have a soul contract to go through this experience will inevitably just land here, and it's just going to be so fun to continue to see who shows up, and to sort of I want to have like an alumni thing. We've talked about maybe even doing a Burning Man camp together.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, and so everyone next year we all get together again, and I know all of you, everyone who comes through here is going to be like, I'll always keep ties there, and it's just like, it's just going to be fun to watch everyone flourish. And as they leave here, a lot of people when they've left too have been like, I'm sad to leave, and there's tears, but I'm also excited to go back out into my life and bring this upgrade, this magic into my world, and that's really what it's about. We're like all lighthouses, like, okay, let's go shine, let's come together, charge, okay, disperse, go shine, okay, come back together. It's such a,
We're going to be fireflies.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I've been talking a lot. Okay, Laurie, what in the world has been going on with you here?
Well, first I'd like to say thank you to Lane for sharing your story. That's brave.
Thank you.
Probably needed out there.
Yeah, I feel the call. I feel the need that more people need to speak up with these kinds of stories. So it's really nice to hear that when it is appreciated. So
Your
thank
truth
you.
is beautiful.
Thank you.
And also thanks to Brandon for the P-Head podcast. My sister is the one who turned me on to it about 3 years ago, and really grateful to her. I'm gonna get emotional.
Aww.
And it's been really cool to be here as the release of the Optimistic trailers come out, because it's so revolutionary. It's going to just mushroom once it gets the traction.
Yep.
It's just fantastic to be part of that and to see it all evolve. For me, the experience, the reason I came to the Manor was to get out of my environment back home. It's I start talking to people about the stuff I'm learning, and they look at me like I have 3 eyes. Well, I really do have 3 eyes. But they just haven't seen it before, right? And, so that's kind of fun to be here and to see the hub of activity, the artists that are working, the groups that have been held in the studio space, the energy around all of that, being part of that, and being exposed to all of the people who are maybe further along their journey than I am, and seeing what the potential is and what they're up to, and what, like, the magic that's out there. It's so incredible, moving.
Yeah, it's inspirational, right? It's like stepping into a new communal kind of structure,
right?
Where everyone is like so interested in supporting each other,
right? And it's your stories or what you're bringing to the table isn't foreign to everybody, right?
Yeah.
Or it's not. You just accept it, and
yeah. It one of the things that I'm really excited about for future groups that are, you out there who haven't come yet and are coming, is, I've had a couple people, there's so many intuitives here. I mean, it's like 75% of people that come through the door, I'm clairvoyant, clairaudient, and medium. It's like, yeah, you and everyone else here. Like, and and it's just wild. But, so, one of the things that's come up a few times in a row in the last few days, and I'm like, I'm so thankful to hear it, is that there's more support coming in for me energetically, financially, all the different ways to support Optimistic. Because one of the things that's been the most challenging for me is because I'm doing so much. I'm like literally like the juggler, like dun, 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 where this at? Okay, record a podcast. Okay, figure out that, literally doing so much to get things off the ground. So when you guys are here, it's like we're spending all day together today, but I'm not spending as much time as I'd love to with each and every one of you who are coming. Luckily, there's all this other magic happening, and we've set up all kinds of things for you. But I one of the things that was brought to my attention is, Brandon, it's important as this goes forward, you're going to get freed up to spend more time with the people that come through, and I'm really looking forward to that. And I'm sure the people that come through in the future are ones who need more time. You know what I mean? It's all in divine timing. Like, you guys will get all the experience that you need, and whoever comes next will get the experience that they need. And it's but that's something that I really personally am looking forward to with this next phase. Like, okay, more support coming in to I can be less worried about business and more worried about transformation and connecting and having those authentic relationships, and my energy to not be somewhat depleted from other more 3D tasks. So that's something that's very exciting for me.
Life definitely does provide everything we need,
and in divine timing,
and sometimes it's the things that don't look like they're supposed to be there that have the biggest gifts. And very cool.
Yeah. So, Laurie, what has been the biggest takeaway from you, would you say?
I think that for me, I'm in a space of absorbing what's going on.
Yeah.
And it's not really going to resonate with me until I'm gone.
Yeah.
Until, like, sort of Lane's experience, I have time to process it all. And I think one of the things that I'm so excited for these gifts of mine to be materialized, so it puts me into a bit of a state of anxiousness, because I'm so ready, but it's maybe the timing's not right, and just a lot of mirroring has been going on, and all the people who have come through, I can just see pieces of me, and the magic of that, right? Seeing just the reflections, and then even Shae and I have shared some story, some parts of our story, and it's the connection, or the not many people have the same elements to our story that we share. Yeah. And so that's pretty beautiful as well.
It is.
Right. Yeah, you are someone who, in the time that I've spent, I've just sensed like there's so much going on. There's so much depth to your character, and I know we've talked a little bit about some of the challenges expressing that depth, and what the greater one toils for the freedom, the greater the sense of freedom that is achieved. And I feel like from you, it's like there's going to be this blossoming of like, holy smokes, where did this come from? Who is this? Like, you know, and it's like a fine wine, you know,
Right.
gestating and aging.
Yeah.
And so I think the more you can resonate with that truth in that story, the more, you know, you're going to see like these shifts and maybe things that felt like roadblocks to you all of a sudden turning into like, you know, epic like 5-lane freeways
Right.
opening up, you know. And
Well,
so,
patience is not part of my repertoire.
right.
So, you know, it's like I get to reflect on what I need to work on still.
Yeah,
Or
right. Wow, I feel my heart is blasted open. I don't know about you guys.
Feeling the love.
Feeling the love.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go have an epic day. We haven't even talked about, you know, a lot of times we'll go on a hike or excursion to the beach. And my main intention on Friday is, of course, we do these, you know, podcast shares, and then my aim is to sort of get out and adventure a little bit with everyone, and then sort of drop in individually and sort of, okay, where are you at? Where you know, where have you been? Where are you at? Where would you like to be? Just getting one-on-one, really diving in and getting to know, you know, the challenges, what you'd like to see next, and for whatever it's worth, you know, my perspective on what I would do is if I was all of a sudden swapped into your bio bodysuit with your history and your life and so that to me is a really fun process. So I'm excited to sort of say goodbye here and move into the next phase of our day. Before we do, is there anything that any or all of you care to share that you know, as you have the platform for all your fellow P-heads to hear you, that is bubbling up that you'd still like to share?
I just want to say that I had a session with Mary Beth as well, and if anybody has the opportunity coming in the future to do it, she was phenomenal. The space she held for me was really great. And I also had a bodywork massage with Rebecca. Most amazing experience.
Oh, wow.
Body-wise, the healing and the work that she did on my lower back and my sacral legs. It was excellent.
Cool.
If your heart says you want to come be here and your monkey mind is arguing with it, tell your monkey mind to go sit in the corner and because
Go eat a banana.
Go eat a banana and come here and experience the magic and the love and the vortex. It's worth it very much.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it to come here. You're still helping people out with like Brendan had called me and we set up like a payment plan.
Yep, I am. Absolutely. We still have one spot in November and quite a few in December. You know, I haven't been as focused on filling spots as I could be just because there's 100 other things to focus on. So yeah, I want to do whatever I can. If you feel the call to come, I want to do whatever I can within reason to make it happen. Whether it's, you know, I've been giving people a bit of a discount that I actually communicate and have a one-on-one conversation with, which you can schedule that if you go to Calendly. calendly.com/talk with Brandon. Do a like 15-20 minute call. Like, okay, where are you at? When would you like to come? What's your financial situation? You know, okay, here's, you know, if giving them a little bit of a discount. I think I did that with all of you, and a payment plan if that's necessary. And, you know, truly the way I view it is it's, and of course, financially is a lot of times the biggest barrier for people. And I get it. Like, it's like, you know, we live in a monetary based society. And for me, this was the biggest financial leap ever. And I definitely a leap in trust and that will appear. And that's exactly what's happening. It's like literally I launched a trailer an hour later, this soulmate walks through the door and says, oh, you need more money? Like, you need help? You need assistance? I've got an MBA and run 83 businesses and I've got all this time and energy. And yeah, and it's so that's how it works. That's how we create abundance. You leap and the net will appear. If you are setting the intention to support and be a part of this journey, not only, it's like I said to each one of you are one of the 111 pillars to get the optimistic plane off the ground. You're going to be listed as a producer because you help to produce it. You will feel the energetic repercussions of what it does in the world. If it becomes what, 5 intuitives have told me it's going to be this cultural phenomenon, I'm not attached to that, but if it happens, you 3 have helped, and anyone else who comes, help to make that happen. You can't go wrong saying I deserve this experience for myself and I want to help this well-intended thing to live and breathe in the world. And we still need, we've got, out of the 111 spots, probably 50 or so left. So those of you out there listening, please come and support and be a part and make magic with us. And you can also go to Patreon, patreon.com/optimistic show. And you can peek in, like right now we're live streaming this to, the Patreon members. Hi, everyone. And we live stream the show before it's released and, giving glimpses into workshops and things like that. So that's another way if you can't get away for 6 days to come here, 7 days to come here, I guess, with all the travel, then, there's other ways to support the cause. And, yeah.
I want to add one thing to that. Brandon's not trying to sell you something. You need to sell yourself on yourself and invest in becoming more of you, because that's what it's about. It's not about...
Yeah.
I mean, that is what all of this is about, is expanding and sharing expansion and bringing out the best in one another and appreciating that in ourselves and one another. And it's beautiful.
Yeah.
To physically be with people who can exchange that energy. And I know a lot of people who listen to podcasts like this feel kind of isolated and really need to experience that sense of community, and it's worth it.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, I could run Coca-Cola commercials, or I mean, this is the way that I've chosen to. It takes a lot of resources to make all this happen, and we do still live in a monetary-based economy. So it's like, how can I make an offering in the highest integrity possible? And that's really what I've set out to do. And I have such faith that I haven't had one person yet that's come that has felt like, oh, that was a raw deal. I wish I hadn't done that, kind of thing. And hopefully that doesn't happen, and even if it does, that will have been the lesson for whoever in some way, shape, or form, and, for me, I truly see this is how we create abundance. Like, I could have looked at it as like all the cost to produce 37 episodes of Optimistic, and the house and the retreats and the food and it's like $750,000. I could look at that and say, oh my gosh, this is going to cost me $750,000. Or I could say, no, this actually is going to create more abundance. Mm-hmm. And that's the same thing with anyone who's sort of taking that leap. This is when you say, yes, I deserve it. Yes, I'm worthy. Yes, I trust. Yes, the intention is right. The universe goes, oh, that's how it is? Oh, why didn't you say so? Here you go. Here's extra resources you didn't plan on. And this is how we expand in this way. And, for those that have, and there's been quite a few that are like, it's a leap and it's a trust and a stretch. And then I'll have people, contact me a week later who signed up or something. And they're like, oh my gosh, Brendan, I just got like this revenue stream out of nowhere. Can I pay it off early? And it's like, yeah, of course you did. Like, you're aligned and you're stretching and you're saying I'm worth this experience. And I want to support something that's truly well-intended and is going to have a huge ROI, not return on investment, but ripple of impact.
The magic is real.
Magic is real. Come levitate with us. I gotta keep her around. Mia, yeah. She's awesome. Like, all right, Mia, come back. Let's do a levitation exercise. I gotta see this.
That was Mia that had someone levitate? Oh my gosh.
Surprise me.
Yeah. She's actually
cool.
Yeah, she's gonna come on actually, I think, as a guest. She just launched a show. Mm-hmm. And so I decided to bring her on as a show and onto the show and help to get the word out about her show, which is all about magic and witchcraft.
She's an amazing goddess.
Yeah, really powerful.
Yes. So glad to have connected with her.
Same.
And Sydney as well. Sydney's pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, there's some. Yeah. And
so many.
Yeah, they just keep coming through the doors. I'm just like I just met Mia this morning. Like, oh, okay, who are you, magic lady? Like,
everyone I have met here has been awesome to experience.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. A lot of love. All right, we'll let you get back to your day, everyone, your night, your evening. Maybe it's the year 2937 and you are in your Jetsons car flying around listening to this retro podcast. Can you imagine if someone randomly chose this and it's 2937 and they're like, oh! It's like,
it's already happened.
It's already happened. It's happening right now.
Right now, yeah.
And maybe it's one of our future incarnations.
Okay, now, let's wave at them.
29.
Hi from way back.
The Wayback Machine.
The Wayback Machine. Oh, love you all so much. Thank you, 3. Let's go have an adventure, shall we?
We shall.
Yeah.
All right. Till next time, Journey Well. Love you all so much. And if you're feeling the call to come for a week retreat-style Mystic Manor immersion, remember to go now and book your time to speak with me directly about stepping into the optimistic vortex at calendly.com/talk with Brandon while there are still spots left. Otherwise, I look forward to co-creating magic with you at the Mystic Manor.